Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with OddsJam, just giving you my best DFS plays for Monday Night Football tonight. So, going to be looking at PrizePicks, Underdog, looking at the best DFS plays specifically for Monday Night Football. In this video, I'm using the OddsJam screen to find these player props, these DFS player props. So, for those of you who have not used this screen yet, it's I think it's an incredibly helpful tool. Basically, it pulls up where every single sportsbook prices a certain market on one screen, so you can literally scroll through and just immediately figure out and identify pricing discrepancies across the sportsbooks. So for one game, it still is helpful because you can just look at the two. In this case, I have player passing yards, the prop up, but for a traditional NFL Sunday where before the games have been played, you can see all of this on one screen, which is really cool. But still works for one game, which we have tonight between the Cardinals and the Patriots. It's an incredibly exciting football game we have here. So the two player props that I have as of right now, I'm going to give you guys a bunch, and we'll see which ones that you want to lock in specifically for your DFS plays. But there's a really good price on both of the quarterbacks to go over their passing yardage prop. So we'll start with Mac Jones. PrizePicks prices his over-under passing yards at 220.5. And look at where every other sportsbook prices it. Even Underdog, who has it at 222, is still a good price. So I recommend taking this on both Underdog and PrizePicks. But it's even better price on PrizePicks. We see PointsBet have it at 225. We see Tipico at 226. And this is important. We see the OddsJam line, which is pulled from Pinnacle Sportsbook, which is the sharpest sportsbook in the world, prices this at 224.5. And look how they price the over and the under. They have the over priced at minus 142. They have the under priced at plus 108. They're favoring it going over. They're heavily favoring it going over, and it's still 4 yards higher than what we are getting it at PrizePicks at 220. So a really, really good price here. And then the rest of the betting markets, we see 227 on Fox Bet, Bet Rivers, and FanDuel. We see 226 on BetMGM, 224 again on Caesars and Betfred. But again, they're both favoring it going over. So all in all, the passing yardage prop for Mac Jones to go over, if you're taking out the other DFS platform in Underdog, is 4 to 7 yards lower than where every other sportsbook prices it. And obviously, PrizePicks and Underdog, they have the same implied odds for every single player prop, depending on the number of entries you put into a play or number of selections you put into an entry. The odds are going to be the exact same. But if you look at how other sportsbooks, like real sportsbooks that price odds individually, price a player prop, you can identify some pretty good ones to add, which is exactly what we did here. So Mac Jones over 220.5 passing yards, I think is very good on PrizePicks, and I think his over is really good on Underdog as well. The next play is with Kyler Murray, and again, we're taking him to go over his passing yardage prop. So in this case, it's only a good play on PrizePicks at 232. We see Underdog has it at 238, and then again, look across the board where these other sportsbooks price it. PointsBet has it all the way up at 240, then WinBet at 237, Tipico at 238, Pinnacle again has it at 238, so 6 yards higher. Granted, they favor it going under, but it's still 6 yards higher. So it's not quite as good of a play as the Mac Jones one, but I still like it because, again, it's 6 yards higher. And then we also see 238 on Fox Bet, DraftKings, Betfred, Caesars, and FanDuel. And then BetMGM has it at 237. So both quarterbacks have pretty good lines for their passing yardage prop to go over on PrizePicks. And then Mac Jones also has his over is good on Underdog as well. Not so good on Kyler Murray. But that's just one market. Let's check out more. So we want to go to player receiving yards. There's a really good play on Jonnu Smith to go over his passing yardage prop. It's only at 11.5. Now it's that low for a reason, but it is a good play because we're getting it at 11.5. Pinnacle prices it 1 yard higher, and they favor it going over. So this is another good one specifically on PrizePicks. Not as good on Underdog, but the logic here, the yardage difference, or I guess I should say the impact of the yardage difference is obviously much, much more significant on a prop such as this, like this player receiving on each prop, because of how low it is, right? Going from 1 yard from 11.5 to 12.5 is like roughly a 10% difference between props, whereas a passing yardage prop from 232 to 233 isn't as big of a deal. Obviously, the passing yardage props, we went from like 220 to 224 or 232 to 238. So bigger, more yards different between the two of them. But in this case, it is just 1 yard, but that yard has more significance because of how low these are. Now, none of these other props had good plays specifically on PrizePicks or Underdog, just the Jonnu Smith receiving one, but that is the third one. And then if we want to go to player rushing yards, we can again use the OddsJam screen to find pricing discrepancies. In this case, we're actually looking at the under for Kyler Murray rushing yards. PrizePicks and Underdog both price it at 36.5. Every other book prices it lower. We see Pinnacle at 35, favoring it going under. Then we see FanDuel all the way down at 34.5. So pretty good play here on Kyler Murray. We also see a good play on James Conner going over, specifically on PrizePicks. PrizePicks has it at 57. The closest book we have is 59. The majority of them are at 60 or 61, including Underdog. So not a good play here on Underdog, unfortunately. But MGM, Caesars, Bet Rivers, Betfred, DraftKings, not Fox Bet, they have it at 59. Pinnacle, obviously that one's important. Pinnacle has it at 61. Tipico, WinBet, and PointsBet all have it at 60.5 or 61.5. PrizePicks has it down at 57.5. So that is going to be it for my DFS plays today. I recommend definitely tailing all of these. I gave out 4 or 5 different player props for you guys. So if you are locking any of these in, comment and let me know. But that's it. So I appreciate everybody watching and have a good one.